You heard Senator Rand Paul earlier in your show, Maria, saying that he couldn't dream of a better cabinet than the one that President Trump has put together. Republicans need to follow suit. They need to get tough. They need to get smart. As soon as Republicans return to the Hill in January, they have to deal with the debt ceiling. This is the last tool in Senator Schumer and the Democrats' toolbox to try to obstruct President Trump's America First agenda.
It's time to get behind it. Caroline Leavitt not playing around anymore. And she's telling us that there's a tool that the Democrats are going to use to try to stop Trump's administration from being successful. And here is what she said Republicans need to do to eliminate that possibility.
Can you answer that question? You saw all the drama over the weekend. Why should we believe that Republicans are going to stay united when, in fact, 38 of them this weekend voted against Trump's agenda?
President Trump has put together a brilliant team. You heard Senator Rand Paul earlier in your show, Maria, saying that he couldn't dream of a better cabinet than the one that President Trump has put together. And 4 years ago, not a single Democrat voted against any one of Joe Biden's picks for his cabinet. Republicans need to follow suit. They need to get tough. They need to get smart. They need to confirm President Trump's picks. When you look at the exceptional qualifications of these individuals, there is no reason that a single Republican should vote against any one of them. Let's confirm them so President Trump can get to work, ushering his agenda through the federal government and also on Capitol Hill.
It is amazing how the Democrats are much more unified than the Republicans. And the Republicans do this stupid game, I think, because they're still playing to the media. They still want to be like little John McCain's or something, like, I'm a maverick, and so I just don't automatically go along to get along. The country just spoke. Give the president the benefit of the doubt, give him some good faith understanding, confirm his nominees. The fact that we even have to have this conversation is so ridiculous. He just won. We've been fighting for 4 years for the Republicans to win. He's won, and now they're going to try to kneecap him at the outset.
And based on my reporting over the weekend and phone calls with several people, I understand raising or eliminating the debt ceiling is now being talked about in terms of putting in the first reconciliation package. Will that be a spoiler for some Republicans?
Well, it shouldn't be, because it's a fantastic idea and President Trump is in full support of it, as he has expressed in recent days. Look, the continuing resolution that passed happened because of President Trump. It includes critical aid for our farmers, critical aid and disaster relief for our fellow Americans who were impacted by Hurricane Helene. But as soon as Republicans return to the Hill in January, they have to deal with the debt ceiling. This is the last tool in Senator Schumer and the Democrats' toolbox to try to obstruct President Trump's America First agenda. The American people reelected President Trump with a resounding mandate because they want him to take monumental action to secure the southern border, to expedite permitting, to unleash the might of our American energy industry, and to restore peace through strength abroad. We can only do that if we get rid of the debt ceiling. President Trump is in strong support of that, and Republicans need to get behind it.
All right, so more spending, right? We're going to lift the debt ceiling and we can just spend to oblivion. I don't know how much Greenland's going to cost. I don't know how much the Panama Canal is going to cost, but the idea, hopefully, is that the economy comes roaring back, right? We have that invigoration that we saw during Trump's first administration. We emerge into a new roaring 20s without the Great Depression to follow, and we build up America. We build up American infrastructure. And so if we lift the debt ceiling so that there is no cap on the debt, are we going to reduce the deficit? Are we going to actually minimize the debt that we're in because the economy will come back? We'll see.
Understood. Can you talk to us a bit about President Trump's plans on the first few days? On day one, for example, how many executive orders is he planning?
Pardons, baby. Gonna have to get that man an ice bucket, all right, for his hand. Although Trump probably doesn't need that. He's used to signing a lot of things. But I mean, we want Trump to come out of that Oval Office truthfully like this. That was a good one. That was a good one. Even for Trump, you know what I'm saying? Like, even Trump comes out. He's like, man, that might have been a record of new signatures. We're looking forward to it.
Well, President Trump isn't even back in the Oval Office yet, and we're already seeing the Trump effect. Small business optimism, Bitcoin, the stock market have all surged since the November 5th election. You saw the CEO of SoftBank announcing a $100 billion investment in AI, critical infrastructure, and jobs here at home. And it's not just at home. We see the Mexican president is now slashing cartels on their way to the southern border in caravans. You see Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau flew to Mar-a-Lago in about 15 minutes when President Trump threatened terror tariffs. They just unveiled a $1 billion border plan to secure our northern border. So President Trump is already acting as the president. He's already taking steps to make real change for the American people. But as for executive action on day one, yes, he will use the power of his pen to deliver on many of the promises he made to the American people on the campaign trail to secure the southern border, to fast track permits for fracking, for drilling, and to also take executive action to stop some of the transgender insanity that we have seen take over this country. I think the American people are going to be pleased with what they see from President Trump within mere minutes of his return to the Oval Office.
Amazing.
You know,
minutes.
We're talking so much all morning about the first reconciliation package being about the border, because I understood that you didn't have the votes to get the border bill through from Democrats and others, and so you have to do it through reconciliation. What are the executive orders that you're expecting on day one regarding the border?
Well, securing the southern border, perhaps looking at Title 42. Many of these executive actions are still being considered by our policy teams and also our lawyers, how we can take, again, legal executive action to shut down the border, to immediately stop the surge of migrant criminals that we have seen over our southern border. And on day one, President Trump is also going to launch the largest mass deportation of illegal criminals in American history. He can do that immediately by empowering federal and local law enforcement to work together to identify, to detain, and to deport these illegal criminals that we know are roaming freely in our country. We know there was nearly 500,000 illegal criminals, rapists, murderers, and drug dealers who are roaming freely in American communities right now in the Christmas season.
Kids.
That's unacceptable, and President Trump is going to take strong action on day one to end it and to deport these individuals from our country.
The question is, who is going to be obstructing Trump's agenda in the Senate and in Congress?